Click, buy, deliver. With remote purchasing from the 2-time Motorcycle News Dealer of the Year, Colchester Kawasaki. Proud sponsors of Chasing the Racing.
3, 2, 1, and welcome back to Chasing the Racing, episode 134, and we're down in Fleetwood Mac, and down on the coast, and we're delighted to be joined by Steve Rodgers, the owner of Raceways Yamaha and the current British Superbike Champions. How are we doing?
Hey, we're good, thank you, boys. Thank you. Yeah, all good.
When are you planning on wiping that smile off your face? I bet that's not going to come off for a long time.
I think I've always had a problem smiling all the time, but yeah, it's just got worse.
Good man.
Have you had did you have a championship party this year?
I think it finished last Saturday night, yeah.
It's just an ongoing
it's just been from one to another, yeah.
Oh,
we've got I'm out tonight as well, crikey, yeah. It's just, we haven't stopped.
Oh, good. Well, because I think it was about the week after, or maybe 2 weeks after, we had Roger Marshall on, who obviously works in your team, and he had a big, was it his surprise 60th, was it?
70th.
Was it 70th? Yeah, he doesn't look 70, but he had a big surprise
party.
party.
He'll be throwing things at the telly
No,
right now.
I'd be chuffed to bits with that. Was that a good night?
Mega.
Because we were supposed to do a podcast that weekend, but you said you'd be wasted.
Oh no, the Sunday was not good. Well, it weren't good. No, we had to go for a walk down Old Cleethorpes front just to clear his head before we set off back.
With breathalyzers at the counter, they are. Who's driving, who's not? Simple as that.
We were just saying, Dom's been down here before, like working, but this at Fleetwood, obviously with the racing, you go all over the country, you're always here, there, seeing sponsors and whatever. This is one place that I've never been before.
Ask him about the condom thing from Steve Brogan.
Fleetwood.
Listen I know you've got a confused face on. I've got a confused face on me when he said that, so we're just driving down the road. I don't even know what we got going about. Fleetwood, you explain it.
When we're seeing Fleetwood, and it just reminds us, Steve Brogan always used to call condoms Fleetwoods, but I think it must be, do you call Max? Max. I think that's what it comes from.
No idea.
I just thought this might have been a
That's
local
just Brogan for you, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm just going to get some Fleetwood Max on there.
Yeah.
How many people are going around here going like that?
Are you from round here originally?
Not originally, no. Sheffield originally.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but we've lived around sort of Blackpool now. Since I was about 8.
Did you plan on leaving England, got to the coast and bottled it or something like that?
Yeah, we just drove it wrong direction, got here and shit, can't get any further.
It seems like a nice place, man. You're not far from...
Don't speak to Chris. Spanner hates it.
Really?
Hates coming. With a vengeance, honestly.
Why is that?
I don't know. Just Lincoln way. No, he's not. It's Peterborough. Is he somewhere around that way or somewhere?
So how does his work commitments work then? So does he
Stamford, because he keeps telling us it's the best place to live, isn't it, Chris, apparently, in the UK.
No, but Stamford.
Correct, exactly.
Me and him are like, we have never heard of it.
We're not far from like Blackpool. We can't be that far from like Liverpool, Manchester that way, are we?
No, an hour from Manchester, an hour from Liverpool. Blackpool's about 6 miles, so
not too far from Morecambe.
So,
yeah, John's up that way. Yeah, not far.
How does his work commitments work then? Does he just travel up on the Monday, stay over for the week, and then?
It depends what we've got on, really. I mean, because Chris runs everything, all the technical side and stuff, and his responsibility is putting the bike together and stuff and getting all the parts and everything together from the factory and that. And it depends. If there's stuff to do here, he's here. If not, all the organising and stuff, you can do it from anywhere, can't you? So
there we go.
Yeah, it just depends.
Keep him at arm's reach.
He just moans every time he gets here, and he says all the time, "It's raining." No, it's not raining out there today, is it?
No, nice day.
See?
Nice day by the coast. But
rest my case.
There's an ice bucket factory down the road there. It's obviously sunshine and lollipops here all the time.
Correct.
What's that? The ice manufacturer?
It was, yeah. Well, because the docks, obviously, there's no fishing trawlers anymore. So obviously, they did used to make all the ice there for all the fish when they came off the boats. So obviously that sort of went, so then they went doing, it was called party ice, so they made all the ice that you go into Iceland and buy in bags and stuff. Anyway, I think it's gone now, full stop. So
there we are, a bit of history of the area.
Ah, you see.
So how does a lad from Rotherham get a motorcycle team and move to Fleetwood Mac and wear dodgy condoms? I just don't...
Yeah, good question. Yeah.
Where did it all start for you?
Well, we came here sort of when I was like sort of 8, and then school and all that. And originally I was leaving school, going on a YTS at the local BMW dealer. Anyway, they were building a new showroom, all this, and it weren't going to be ready. So, and I weren't going to wait 3 months. So I went working at a motorcycle Vin Duckett's in Cleveland. So I went working there, and that was it. Unfortunately, I had my accident on a bike when I was 17, and we opened his own shop when we was 21, and it went from there.
So was that a case of when you were leaving school, you were getting into being a mechanic?
No, well, I was going to go in parts and stuff, do the parts and stuff, and they said, "Oh, can you wait till the new place is built? We'll start there." And you can't wait when you're a kid, can you? So. Yeah.
So even before like 17, then, so we're like motocrossing kind of thing, or what was the crack that got your first love of motorbikes?
Well, I just went working there, and then I'd got
17.
I'd got a little 50 at 16, like everyone has, DT50 MX thing, you know, we just went working there, and there was sort of. The owner had raced in the past, and so had the sales guys, and they'd got like classic bikes, so they still did sort of the classic TT and the parade laps and stuff. Yeah. I think he had an Air Mackie and a G50 or something.
Oh,
you know,
bikes.
So yeah, proper things like
proper bikes.
Yeah, back in the day, yeah.
Do you know how much they're worth now? Like 50, 60 grand, you know?
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Bloody fortune.
Yeah. Lovely little things. They were meant. Yeah, they were lovely.
His eyes rolled over there. You think, I know there's one in a shed.
Yeah,
in the back of Rotherham.
Yeah.
Oh, God, get Chris, get the bolt croppers more off.
Could do with finding one. Crikey. Yeah, it'd be handy, wouldn't it?
And so you were saying they wanted you to wait until they started the new dealership.
Yeah, and you couldn't wait, could you? So there was another opportunity to go and work at a motorcycle dealership in the parts there, and I thought, oh, we'll go and have a do at that. So we did, and just sort of went from there. So I was lucky really, because I did the parts, then did all the warranty stuff, then went in the office when I'd had my accident, so we did all the VAT, all the sales, all that. So you sort of could do everything, so it made sense then to go on his own. So we did that when I was 21.
Straight into the home business. So.
Is that the same place as what you've had ever since?
No, we built this about 16 years ago.
Right,
yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, so but there's a third place. The second one was where the petrol station is, just down the road.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was where Asda is, yeah.
And have you always been Yamaha all that time?
We started Aprilia, and then obviously Peugeot scooters, Italjet, all that sort of stuff when the scooter job was booming. And then when we took on Yamaha the year before we moved here, and so we had a Yamaha and Aprilia, and then as soon as we moved here, it just made sense just to go Premier. Exclusive, you know.
And what was the introduction to the racing?
We I don't know, we sort of, Jonathan, who's one of the directors here, we went to school together and that, and me and Jonathan opened the shop, but before we opened really, he wanted to go racing, so we did that mini stock 125. So Jonathan was riding, we sort of looked after the bike. We had a little, I think it's a TZR 125, and it was good because there was Neil Hodgson, there was a lad called Martin Ormond, who unfortunately got killed at Darley, didn't he? And there was there was a few in it, and Jonathan he won quite a lot of the races. I think he finished third in championship or something. So that's what got us into it, and that, yeah.
And was that back?
Oh, James Aiden was in it as well. Yeah, there was James as well. Yeah, yeah.
What sort of year was that?
Some big names there.
98.
Right, and have you been flat out involved with the racing ever since then?
Yeah, we've had a few years off, didn't we? We sort of ran Kev Maudsley on 125s as well in BSB, and did wild card at Donington in '93. Opened the Cardos Championship as well in '93 with Kev. That was good. I think Kev put it second on grid. There was Checker, I think Checker was on the grid, Scalvini, Alzamora. Dirt Rowdies was Paul, who was current world champion. Kev just tipped up, never even been there before, put it second on grid. It was mad. It was good, yeah. Yeah.
But that was some crack back at the order, and there we go.
Oh, yeah.
So, I tell you what, if you don't mind me asking, what your accident, was it a bike accident that you were in, or a car?
Yeah, no, bike, yeah, when I was 17, yeah. Typical, innit? Little Kawasaki AR125, just riding like a dickhead, really.
Right. Oh, so
like you do.
So a crash by yourself?
Yeah, no. Just we'd set up for some traffic lights, and I thought, we'll pass this car. Anyway, the car was a little bit faster than I thought, and anyway, next minute we're in front of a shop.
Jesus.
Yeah,
wet.
so it wasn't exactly ideal. But...
So that after your recovery and stuff like that, you can you can only imagine that people normally go, not quite for me anymore. You've done the opposite. You've gone and get a race team and win.
It's just
British Championships like you do.
To be fair, when I had my accident, I was quite lucky because obviously I did break my back, but I broke it really low down, so L1. So it's as good as you get, really. So and I was in hospital and there's people there, and they're all on ventilators and they couldn't breathe, and I just thought, do you know what, bloody hell, there's nothing wrong with me. I need to just get on with it. So that was it. So we just cracked on.
It's great attitude, isn't it?
That's
one of them things when life gives you lemons, make lemonade type of thing, and just crack on.
And I think if you're in that situation when you're young at 17 sort of thing, you have an accident, you deal with it a lot better because you're young and you just get on with it, don't you?
Yeah.
And I think if you're a bit older, it's a little bit more. It's a lot more difficult, I think. So,
yeah.
Fantastic. And from the 125 days, was it a gradual move up in terms of up the championships towards BSB, or how did you end up having the sort of dominant superbike team?
By default, I think. No, because we ran 125s. We kept for a couple of years, and then sort of had a bit of time off, and then we went back. A mate of mine won the lottery, Carl Crompton.
Hold on. When we say that, that's like finding £5 on the floor. You're talking about your mate generally won the lottery, like.
I won about, is it 10.2 or something?
Honestly?
Yeah, Carl did. Yeah, back in years and years back. Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
How many people do you know that? You're the first person I've met who's
actually knows somebody.
A lottery winner. Wow.
It's rare. If you think about it.
Yeah. I mean,
sorry, can we talk a little bit more about that? I've always imagined if I won the lottery, how I would react. How did he present that news to you, Steve? Pints from me. God, you got some money or something. Just funny you should mention that.
Well, he spent like the first couple of days trying to avoid the press, because it was me and my brother, basically all our mates. We all sort of hung about together. So he went to school with my brother, who's 3 years younger. But like I say, we all went out together and knocked about together and everything. So, I think he was the youngest winner at the time.
Wow.
Yeah, he was still living at home and stuff, and it was bizarre, really. Yeah, it was.
Did he change? Sorry, we've totally gone off a motorcycle podcast now. One of the lottery winners here.
A little bit, but I mean, it's going to change you into it, all that. I mean, it's he was on TV all the time, and so yeah, it did a little bit, but
I personally wouldn't tell anybody.
I thought that was an option. Like, if you won the lottery, I thought it was an option to see.
Yeah, I think back then it still was, but I think they pushed you quite a lot to go public. And obviously, because he was young and stuff, I think they were quite keen on him, so he did.
Right.
And, I mean, it's... Yeah, it was just... it was a bizarre time, I think.
And did that have any involvement with the racing?
Well, he wanted to go racing, and we wanted to go racing again. So, in fact, we got Phil Borley. So we ran Phil on a 600 with support from Honda and that. For 96, 97 and 99, yeah.
And the budget was spent 10 million gone in like 3 years. Gone.
If you want one way of spending money quick, superbike racing's definitely.
Yeah. I thought that was expensive then. Yeah, the superbike job's on another level.
So at that level, you've got a friend who's financially backing the kind of thing. Does he know how much he spent in that first season doing that?
I'm sure Carl will have done.
Yeah,
definitely. Definitely. Yes. Yeah. I'll just dare ask.
Funny enough, our next guest is he's going to come through the door right now. Pull up a seat, my man. Pull up a seat. There you go. Jeez,
so that was back in like the early 2000s.
Yeah.
And so that was. Did you say Super Sport there on the
Super Sport 600 with Phil? I think we finished 4th in championship. Yeah.
Oh, good.
Wow.
Yeah, but back in day when it, Super Sport was. Everyone was in it, weren't they?
There was a year in British Supersport when you had the likes of, you'll probably be able to tell us which year it was, but when the likes of Cal, Jonathan Ray, Sykesy, Craig Jones, they were all in the same sort of era. And when you think of if you took a snapshot of British Supersport then and think of how all the talent, it's weird how you do tend to get talent waves where you get a chunk of it happened the same in superbikes Well, it was that same sort of cohort coming through, but you look at it and there's like World Superbike. I seen a picture on Facebook the other day, and like it's a grid of BSB packed with people who have went on to win like World Superbike Championships, BSB Championships, into MotoGP. But it's crazy, isn't it?
Oh, the depth of talent then was phenomenal. Yeah.
When from there, so like you're saying, waves, it seems to like pin, like especially the super sport class, and this is my opinion, it's probably going to upset a few people, but there just seems to be 2 or 3 standout riders, doesn't it, rather than that big bunch of like top lads, if you know what I mean. So it's like when Taz was on your R6 and he left halfway through, didn't he? Was that what year was that?
3 rounds, 17.
Yeah, he just went. It was just a weird, wasn't he? Like a scalded cat. It was just, there we go, off he goes, and then.
Well, it just won it, Annie, with Brent on the Kawasaki, and then he came to us, won first 6 races in a row, and obviously got that opportunity to go Moto 2, which he had to take it, I suppose, didn't he? So that was that, It was, we backed it. It was no problem. So
I was about to say, well, I know we've already had like a brief, like proper introduction, not a bit of crap, but you seem like a proper laid back lad. So when that news came in, was it literally just a part of you must have been like shite?
Well, you do, because we hadn't won a British Championship, you see. So we'd finished second 4 times or something.
Right. Was that like with Westy?
Westy, Billy, Hudson Kenner. And then we finished second with Jason, didn't we, last year? So you think, so at that point we haven't won anything, and Taz is looking like he's going to absolutely walk away with the job. But then wants to go Moto 2, and you're thinking, deep breath, lads, just take it on the chin. But for him, and obviously they're real good family friends, so it's a slightly different situation as well, isn't it? It's not just team manager and rider.
Yeah.
And at the time, it was probably the best thing for him to do.
Couldn't agree more.
At least he came back and rewarded you with a proper champion.
Yeah, he did. Fair play to him. Yeah, fair play.
All worked out in the long run.
He did say that. Yeah,
we'll come back to like the last couple of years in like more detail, but just quick like sort of this run through. So from the early 2000 Super Sport, like running through the you sort of.
Well, we had a few years off again then. Sort of end of '99, we sort of packed in and just sort of went jet skiing and messing about and. Just having Craic for a bit, and then Johnny Towers at Motor Direct phoned me and says, "Got this South African coming over. Can you help me with him, Hudson Kenner?" It's like, "Oh, okay. I don't know what you're thinking." He says, "Oh, maybe Superstock 1000." I said, "All right, okay, yeah, I'm sure we can get a bike together and stuff." He says, "Oh, he won't need as long as you can get a bike, supply a bike, he'll sort the rest out." And well, blimey hell, it was like a gypsy landing. He drove in the car park with this van and a caravan on the back, and he lived out the back of the race unit. Yeah, just like you today. Lived out the back of the race unit for about 2 months in this caravan. It was like...
free accommodation. We're staying, Chris.
Correct. A bit of ground rent,
I've got a team in the road. Of course there's ground rent.
Tell you what, fair play to him, though, for coming over from South Africa like that.
Yeah, it was... and that, so we sort of ended up getting dragged back in and...
Was that the first time you met him when he tipped up? And so at this point, you're going to run him like on a total black, like off a good word of Johnny Tower, like one of your friends, and you think that could have gone.
You see, Johnny didn't quite sell it like that. It was just get him a bike and he'll sort the rest out. Didn't quite work like that, to be dead fair. Who's mechanic in the bike? I haven't got anybody. Oh, right, okay, right,
Johnny.
So, yeah. This isn't quite what you said, mate. Well, anyway.
Did you end up having a good year racing?
Yeah, it was a good crack. Everyone knows what Hudson's like. You get him to a racetrack and he's sometimes... I'm not that sort of person, but blimey hell, he had me blooming doing all sorts of... it's just... Yeah, he was... His determination to win was mega. But when you're having to protest people because he thinks they're cheating, and you're having to do it because... you're trying to keep the wheels on the wagon to keep your rider's head on. It's just not my thing, really. You know what I mean? So, but we had some good years, to be fair. But you got him back here and go out on a night out. It was a real good crack.
Mm-hmm. Have you seen that the Free Tech series he's set up over here?
Yeah,
it's unbelievably popular. That
Either no insurance.
We did one at Mallory not too long ago. There was 120. I think it was 121 bikes on the grid.
Is that where there was the carnage on the start?
Yeah.
I watched it.
Yeah.
I phoned him up. Driver, what are you doing?
To be fair, I guess Hudson organised it, so it's sort of his responsibility. But that wasn't actually like it was the starter lady that would cause the miscommunication. Next time I was watching, basically what happened was usually everyone's lined up there and the bikes are all lined up here, and she puts it's usually the St George's Cross flag up in the air, and when it goes down, that means run. Where she blew a whistle to get everyone's attention to basically say like, look at me, but.
She put two red flags up, right, and then blew the whistle, and everyone just went, right, go.
No, well, she blew the whistle to get everyone's attention ready to go, but half the people interpreted that as the start of the race. So like half of them ran where she stood there with the flags up, like she hasn't dropped the flag yet, but then there's like 50 people ran to the bike, started them and started accelerating. So yeah, it was. Do you know what? It's a bloody good job no one was seriously injured there, because it could have been really nasty, that. But on the whole, the rest of that day we did rolling starts and it was absolutely fine. But yeah, Hudson is doing a good job with that.
It does look real good, to be fair.
Cheap racing, like you can get a bike for a couple of £100, and it's like, I mean, there's proper beating up all bits of rubbish.
Oh, it's a proper crack, like it is a proper crack.
It is something to do.
So how long was Hudson riding for you then?
We did 6, 7, and 8, 3 years.
3 years, right?
Yeah. We put it with job for 3 years.
And that was in Stock 1000?
Stock 1000, then we did Supersport in 08, didn't we? So we did Supersport in 08, and we got all the electronics and all the stuff from off Cal's bike, to be fair, from which was when it was Yamaha Germany.
Wow.
So you ran them on a Yamaha at Stock 1000 at this point?
I mean, Stock 1000 in 06 and 07, and then Supersport 600 on a Yamaha R6 in 08.
Right.
Which had everything. It was proper thing: traction, launch, anti-wheelie, blooming blip, everything. It was a mega bike, to be fair.
Where did he finish?
Second.
Who won it?
Glenn.
How was it?
Yeah, Glenn won it. Yeah. Yeah.
So, you know, when you started the racing up, so what point did you get like a full establishment with Yamaha? You know, you've set up a dealership and stuff, and you're selling bikes on their behalf. But at what point were you able to start ringing the factory, going, "Can we try this? Can we try that?" You know.
08 really. Well, 07 we ran the R1 and did a reasonable job, to be fair. And then 08 we were sort of with the official 600 team. And we had Andy Jameson sort of, you know, looking after all the technical side of stuff, and Jonathan here used to build all the engines. And yeah, it was good. Yeah, it was mega. Bike was real good. Yeah, it was really good. Good thing. And yeah, except for that, I remember Silverstone's funny. He goes out free practice. This is typical Hudson. You know, comes in, gets off it, doesn't even hold the bike, let go of it, and goes, "Why have we brought a knife to a gunfight?" And then on the Sunday, won the race by about 5 seconds. Honestly, this is where you were with him all the time. It was entertaining.
What did you say to him when he won it then? Come on, you'll remember.
Well, yeah, come on, I don't think I can repeat it. Honestly.
And then who was your rider? So that took us up to 2008. Where did you
Billy.
go?
We sat in Billy and we had Billy. Billy in 09.
We've had Billy on. We've had loads of people on the podcast that have referred to you and referred to the team lots of times. We had Billy on, so he came over to do the R6 Cup,
600, yeah.
And then
he did, yeah. That's when he first started, didn't he? Yeah.
With Stu from Astro, and then I think he came over to you to ride in Supersport
in 09. Yeah, he did Supersport with us in 09 and 010.
That would have been a bit of it. Like, I don't know Hudson that well, but I don't know Billy that well either. But that character difference, how much? Well, was there much of a character difference between them? Off track, shall I say?
Yeah, both a good crack. I mean, to be fair, Hudson was get him off track and away from racing. He was a good crack. He was mint, real good. You know, he just his attitude at racing was everyone was cheating. You know that, but if he could cheat and get away with it, it'd be him cheating. Which was sorry, Hudson, but that's how it was. If he thought cheating is only cheating if you get caught in his eyes. Right. But everyone else is cheating. So anyway, strange old one, but yeah.
Strange old one. So what was Billy like to work with?
Billy was good. Yeah, good crap, Billy. Yeah, he appreciated everything. And fair play to him, did a good job, didn't he? Yeah.
He's a lovely lad.
Sorry, as you can probably tell on this podcast, I ruin the timelines every time. So is Billy on a Supersport next year? Is that right, or what? I keep hearing different things.
Don't think it's been confirmed yet, has it?
Aye, because the last thing we all heard is the Nation is a bit like he's on for Alan from OMG Racing yet again, but he says he's not sure what class. But him back at Supersport, because when did he win it? When was he last on a Supersport bike, Billy? Was it the Triumph?
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, I think he won it on the Triumph, I think, didn't he?
The Smith's Triumph, was it?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Jesus, that would have been a few years ago now, was it?
Yeah. I'm not sure what he's got. I don't know where he is. I think he's got an option for Supersport or Super Stock. So
right.
I think I don't know what he's deciding he's going to do.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. Well, it'd be on something Yamaha anyway, considering you've supplied your workshop to that team now. So it'll be interesting to see what happens from that point. So anyway, back to Billy. Where do we go from after Billy then riding for you?
Well, Billy stayed. Then Westy signed for 2010 as well. So we had Billy and Westy.
Would that been your first time with two riders under the same banner?
No, because before that in Supersport we had Ronan Quarmby in 08 with Hudson.
Right.
Who then went to World Supersport after that. And then AJ Ventnor in 09 with Billy.
Jesus, AJ. He still does the roads now and then, doesn't he?
Yes, he does. Yeah, he does. Yeah, he did a
South
year with us.
African
Yeah,
lad as well, isn't he?
Yeah.
So,
But at this point, had you dipped your toe in road racing, or does that come later on in the timeline?
later on, really. Yeah, later on. Then we did 2010, didn't we, with Billy and Westy, because we finished second with Billy in 09, and then we thought, right, that's it. We'll just get the best two riders, and we'll win it. Anyway, we still finished second. 2010.
Was there not something controversial when the year with Billy? Was there not something to do with Silverstone where someone took someone out and it was like really like
Yeah.
Was that not between him and Glenn or something?
Plater. Steve Plater, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That's when Stuart threw me out of his office at Silverstone. Yeah.
Did he?
Yeah.
What were you complaining about?
Yeah,
something?
slightly. Yeah. Ever so slightly. And then every time we go there now, he tries to get the lift turned off, so I can't get up there.
Get that out of order sign right now.
Can you talk about that story, or is it a bit?
No, it's just we had a sort of slightly difference of opinion, but obviously he won.
Right.
Leave it at that.
Yeah. Do you, I presume you have a good relationship now with Stuart.
Oh yeah, always have really. Yeah, no, it's just sometimes I think I'm right, he thinks he's right, but he always has the final answer, doesn't he? Or so that's how it is.
Oh, I tell you what,
sometimes.
Yet again, I'm totally throwing a spanner in this conversation as I normally do. But let's talk about like race control decisions. Did you watch the F1? Now I didn't watch it, but have you seen it? I've seen the highlights, right? So basically, the lapped car situation. Do you think Max deserved that title? I'm going to be careful how I word that. Of course he
deserved it, yes.
Yes.
Did he deserve it in how it ended up? I'm not sure. I got the theory behind it, because I get the theory where let's clear the lap cars in front so the two of them could race. But then...
Because I'm still trying to pick out detail. I'm hearing different stories of it. So how many cars was Max... But when they said the lap cars can overtake the pace car, this is going into the final lap. So how many
was it 3 or 4?
It's at
5, I think.
And he had fresh tyres. It's a bit.
Well, they'd got fresher tyres, yeah, but they took the gamble, hadn't they, that there possibly would be a safety car. So they'd pulled him in and put tyres on.
I think they pulled him in during the safety car, didn't they?
They did, so that seemed to have worked, but it's a bit like it's a proper talk around piece, isn't it?
I don't really follow Formula 1, so I didn't.
I don't follow it at all, but basically that was a world championship decision based on a race control like that. That was a massive call, that, because they've never done it before or nothing like that. And it's how when you talk about race control and getting involved in actual racing, it's a difficult. It
was really, because they've done it before. I think where they've let everyone that's been lapped past, haven't they?
Have they?
Yeah. But just to clear the cars in between them,
it's a proper grey area, isn't it?
I think they did that because there weren't time to let everybody past. Then it would have ended on a safety car.
Yeah,
which Hamilton would have won, obviously. But I don't know. I think I'll sit on the fence.
It's proper.
Are you a Formula 1 fan? Or you,
I don't mind it.
It's not the same as Bsb.
No, it's not like motorbike racing, is it? Let's be serious.
No, it's a soft man sport, really.
Yeah.
No, it's just it's interesting because obviously we're talking about like he loves a good rant about the green paint situations and running off track limits and stuff. But I would totally agree. It almost ruins the atmosphere of the actual live event, isn't it?
Sounds like you're selling
What
some
have you-
bikes
what-
today.
do you sell-
I hope so.
do you sell jets? What the hell's that riding on?
I was wondering that, thinking, Craic, that exhaust ain't quite legal.
Get it from Raceways, kids. Oh my god, yeah. So massively diverse off that. So yeah, out of order signs on elevators, absolutely brilliant.
Oh,
That's where we got to on that one.
Yeah.
So, do you know the Keith Flint situation with the team traction control? Was that to do with you?
No, it was Grant, really, that. Grant Bunting. What happened was Grant was sort of running the team for Keith, but obviously Grant lives up this way, and some of the staff did, but they were running it out of Keith's down south there. So Grant came and rented our race unit here because we weren't sort of using it, and brought the team up here. And then for sort of 15, 14, I think, 15, they were going to go TT, and Hutchinson was going to ride the MV originally, and that all fell through, didn't it?
Yeah, certainly.
So last minute, Grant sort of organised to get an R6, so we did the engines, got the bike together and everything, off they went and won both races. So
Absolutely held it as
yeah,
well.
it was really good. So yeah, and then 16 they were running Super Sport here in Bsb, and then did the same again. We did all the engines from that year, and then obviously won both races again, which was unbelievable. Yeah,
Because who was in charge of the bike design that year? In my opinion, that was the best. Like Hutchie in the black camo, like and everything. It looked mint. It looked absolutely class.
did look good. Yeah, well, I think a lot of that had come from Keith. I think because Keith loved all the camo job and stuff. We weren't really that involved, but Grant had sorted it all and that. And it looked mega, didn't it? It did look really good.
It seemed to go, like you say, it was very much a different outfit, and it just seemed to beautifully come together, closer and closer. Every year go by, it was more the Raceways outfit joining in. It just seemed to be beautifully coming together.
I think, well, sort of, Keith had sort of said at, I think, end of 15 to Grant that, look, I can't carry on, with this. I can't carry on spending all this money and stuff. So, look, if you can crack on, if you can do it yourself, get on with it. So for 16, we got Westy came back and Kamei came back with him as sponsors. So, and they, because we'd worked with them in 2010 and stuff. So they asked, so we got back involved as well. So it ended up sort of me and Grant running it. And it was good. We had a good year, and again finished second.
So up, all the way up to this point, have you never been in superbikes? It's all been Super Sport, Superstar.
No, first year with Superbike was 2017. Because after 16,
Is that it?
yeah, yeah,
You just seem such part of the Superbike infrastructure. You know what I mean, though.
It is quite.
That is a shock. That.
Yes, yeah, no, 17 was the first year. So James Ellison obviously was riding for Mark Smith Elverson. Mark was packing in, and obviously McCams were a secondary sponsor. So they wanted to go as title sponsor. James came to us, McCams came. And obviously Grant was still involved as well. And we just sort of managed to put it all together, and yeah, that was it. That was first year, yeah.
It's mad when you say... do you know, like, for example, a relatively new Bsb fan who sort of turns up now, it's it's crazy to think how sort of recent you've been in actual superbike class.
But people would think you're a fourth generation son of a superbike team. You know what I mean? He's been in this game since God was a lad. You know what I mean?
So do you know, in 2017, remind us, who was running the sort of factory Yamaha outfit?
No, well, it was us, because...
Did you just go straight in as factory?
Yeah,
Yamaha?
Yeah. Well, yeah. When you think about it now, it weren't really the way to go. But yeah, we got all the support from the factory. We had Lav, Michael, and James. Yeah.
Jesus, two serious goers, like serious goers.
Yeah. We had Tim there as well that year. Chris Anderson. It was a good year. It was difficult. I mean, we won races in his first year.
Do you ever just sit at your office there and just go, shit, I have taken on a bit here. Like, it's only now in the last couple of years you've really like going from that to that to that to that to that. That's a rapid progression, really, in my opinion.
Yeah, it is. But like I say, I mean, 18 we signed Josh, which good, bad, or indifferent. I don't know where, we probably, expectation was massive, and we probably shouldn't have done it in second year in Superbike, really.
Because the McCams, he did the Milwaukee. He won his first.
He won in 15, didn't he, on Milwaukee? Yeah.
So do you think that pressure came from because he's won on a Yamaha before that?
Yeah, he won on a Yamaha, and it was. Yeah, I think so. I think his expectation was win. We thought we were going to win, and yeah, it was difficult. Yeah.
What did you think didn't work out that year?
I think the team didn't have the experience as a team, and I think we were still short of a few people, that year. Because as you say, it's all about people, isn't it? You need the right people in the right place to do the job, really. So,
as a bare minimum, for example, for one rider, because I've been very lucky, I got invited to one of your garages, and it's brilliantly ran, really brilliantly. How people don't fall over each other. Everyone's even got a queue to get in and out that corridor. It's beautiful work. But so on a minimum per rider, how many staff do you need for one weekend?
Well, each rider has got a crew chief and 2 staff. Then you'll have Tim doing the electronics. We've got Mike Norton doing the suspension. You've got Emma doing the tyres, and then there's a couple of lads sort of just sorting stuff as well. So yeah, there's.
So that's really a minimum of 8, like per rider.
They share the electronics. Share right. Mike at Olin's. So
how much? Going to your electronics man, that must be a bit of a headache. Are the riders quite in a similar ballpark like Jason and Taron, or is it like? Because that's 2 lots of information with theoretically a fair bit of different feedback. Is that a correct thing to say?
He's good, Tim, though, isn't he?
He's good. He's like, I'm keeping Tim. Don't upset Tim, Tom. Don't upset Tim. Yeah, it is a lot of work.
And we're not having 2. It's just, can't afford 2.
one Tim will do.
Tim will do.
Tim will do. Simple as that. But no, God, must be a difficult thing, having 2 lots. Is there a big difference between it? But there is a physical difference in both of them.
The bikes are ever so slightly different, and some of the electronics are a little bit different. But once you've got all the base maps and everything done, Tim's mainly, especially through the session, is just tweaking stuff. So as one comes in, plugs in, he'll do his little bit what they want altering on there. They might want a little bit here, a little bit there. He'll do that, and then the next one comes in, he plugs in. So it's not too bad. And then if there's massive work to do, he'll do it in between sessions and stuff. But.
So busy man, Tim.
So your first year you had Ellison and Michael Averty, and then the year after Ellison and Brooksy sort of swapped from your team to Tag, didn't they? So then you got Brooksy. Did you keep Michael Averty that year as well?
No, Taz came back, didn't he? So
so you had Brooksy and Taz.
Yeah, and Taz. So we put Taz on a Superbike.
And who was higher up by the end of the season that year?
Oh, Josh, I think finished 4th in championship. We went into the last round, and he still had the opportunity or had the chance. The weather was shocking, and but he still could have finished 2nd in the championship.
Right.
But we finished 4th, and it was tough, and I think we learnt a lot from it. To be fair, as a team. Yeah.
And going into because the following season, that was when you had Taz and Jason, wasn't it?
Yes.
And at the first round, I remember pre-season testing, and you seemed to take a massive step forward from in that off-season period. And the first round at Silverstone, you had mega. But both lads had mega good pace. Was there much of a was it just a case of getting more used to the bike, or did you bring in some influential staff, or what was?
Yeah, we made a few changes with staff and stuff, and we had a bit of an upgrade on some parts. And yeah, the winter test went really well. So yeah, that was it really.
You did 3 European tracks in the same week or something that year. It wasn't through the testing period. It was you went to.
Yeah, was it Monte Blanco? Mind you, Taz did launch himself at Monte Blanco. To be dead fair, I think it was yeah. I think it was 19, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
What happened there? You're laughing. That's an uncomfortable laughter. That I'm
laughing,
but on the inside I'm crying.
Yeah, it was peeing blood and battered and bruised. You're thinking, this is all we need winter test, But
not a good way to start the season. I think it was that same test. Danny Buchan lost his brakes flat out on the straight. Can you remember that? think that was Monte
yes,
Blanco.
it was. Yeah.
And,
I think it was.
He literally just had to jump off the back at about.
Yeah.
It must have been about 160,
And
170.
start finish straight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And absolutely obliterated the bike. There's a video of that somewhere.
Was that what bike was that on then? That was on the
It'd been at FS3, I think. Or
Yeah, FS3 Kawasaki, I think it was. Yeah, wasn't it? Yeah.
See, his man Piggy, like we're like adoptedly share Piggy, so I lend him for the roads when I can. But he's the only man who could touch Chrissy's brakes, isn't he? Like like Piggy.
He has. He's my mechanic. He's been with us since 2010, something like that. So yeah, very very loyal as Piggy.
And he's the only person who touches his brakes. You can just see him staring at the brakes, going, looking at them, checking them, checking them, checking them. It's no, he's a good lad to have in your corner.
Speaking of by this point, had you started a bit of road racing or?
No, because we obviously Grant had organised it, so we sort of just helped by doing the engines and stuff, really, and just sort of that was it, really. That's all we did.
Have you never had like a team yourself going to the TT or the
first year we went to TT was with Josh, because part of when Josh came in 18, he wanted to do the roads, didn't he? So we built a 600 and a Superstock 1000.
Yeah, that was right.
Yeah, because he was riding the Norton Superbike.
That was it. Yeah.
But when we got there, we'd done a deal with the TT and everything, and all was good. And then we got there, and the boss man of Norton, he wouldn't let him ride the stock 1000.
Really?
I remember that because I met you on the top car park. I remember that, and it was just the R6. He went well on that thing, mine, didn't he?
Yeah, it was good. Yeah, it was good. Yeah, I was very good. Yes, you're on the grid and the start line there, sort of thing, and I'm stressed, and Josh is just chilled out. I was just going, "What's up here?" I said, "Well, just he goes, it's just a motorbike race." Oh, all right, Josh. Yeah, okay.
Do you know Brooksy's the 10th fastest person ever to lap the Isle of Man TT?
130.
It's amazing that for us.
Yeah.
Bear in mind, he's only been there like he hasn't been there that many years, has he? 10th fastest person, and that's on the Norton as well. So
that was a mega lap on that Norton.
Unbelievable, wasn't it?
But no, imagine if he went back like on a well sorted.
Bike.
Yeah.
If he put his mind to it, he could be right up there with Josh around there, definitely.
Is he going to go back, do you think?
Hickman, I don't know. He's on another level, I think.
Do you think Dean's got a chance?
He might. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I just can't see anybody beating him. I'll be honest with you.
It is a hard one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because it's mad the thing. Like, going back all these years when you met your millionaire mate and stuff like that, was going to the roads ever a thought for you, really?
No, not really. I've always enjoyed it. But not getting involved is a little bit. Cause it's. I mean, even when we just sort of went with Grant with the 600. It's a long way around, isn't it? Waiting for him coming round.
17 minutes.
Yeah. Oh, he's gone through that bit. Oh, thank God for that. And then you've got to wait a bit longer. It's
stressful job.
A little bit, yeah. It's not. I don't think it's.
Have you been for a lap in a car and just gone, whoa?
I've had some of it.
Some of it.
I've not. I haven't done it all now. I think when we went last time, somebody lent us one of these Focus RSs. Anyway, Josh got his hands on it.
Oh, but that would put you off.
He took Lee and Adam from Yamaha for a lap. Oh man, they come out green,
white.
Really? They were just did them in, wrote them off. Yeah.
Speaking of cars, do you ever do like say car track days or anything like sort of high speed in cars?
No, I should do, but I haven't done. No, I've never done one. I should do. I just think I'm gonna crash car. That's all I think. I'm not that good. I'll probably put it into the Armco and be sat there with my head in my hands.
It's mad how like a man it's a simply you either want to do it, it's just you've just like crept into it. So what are your feelings now towards it? It's like you've with Josh going, you nearly had the stock 1000 there, you had the R6 there. Does it want to be an ongoing thing for you?
I mean, we had done a deal with Ian for this year to do the roads on a superbike, a stocker, and a 600.
Right.
The 600 was Alistair's actually. It was going to run Alistair's 600, so we just help Alistair a little bit with it,
Was that at the Northwest?
Yeah, Northwest. I think TT. Ulster.
I know who you're on about. Alistair. What's his surname? Alistair. Nah, it's totally gone.
Hang on. got brain freeze.
Brain bravery. So Alistair worked with William Dunlop for years. I'm on the right path here. Aren't
Yes.
I?
Yeah.
I mean, beautiful bikes. He
yeah.
works alongside with like Taz and
I'll
yourself.
come to him in a minute.
This is you'll be screaming
Be on phone, yeah.
How can you not remember my bloody name? So no, Alistair's always put together like absolutely fantastic. But he's based out of Northern Ireland there, and he
worked for Martrain for a while, for Tim at Martrain. Yeah. Doing all their sort of stuff and that, yeah.
So the plan was to go along with him and help put...
Yeah, we sort of help him out with parts and stuff and give him a bit of support. And he's got 2 600s, actually.
Right.
So, yeah, that was the job. They were going to run those. But obviously, it just never happened, did it? So
tell you what, I'm so looking forward to the road racing starting again now after 2 years off. Obviously, I'm not racing myself, but just to watch it. I think it's been a massive gap in the calendar for race fans, and obviously for people like yourself being involved in racing, you kind of your whole calendar's based around those couple of weeks. But I think there'll be such an unbelievable buzz the next time people are stood at the bottom of Bray Hill watching the bikes come past, because 1 year's long enough to miss it, but having
I think it'll be mega. This next year it'll be the best TT there's ever been, I think.
Here's a question. So why didn't Yamaha have a stand at the NEC this year? Because the reason I'm asking is because TT didn't either. It's the politics in the game.
I think, obviously, all the new models and everything was at EICMA, which again we went to EICMA only because we was over at Yamaha anyway.
Right.
But that was a lot. That was half the size it normally is. And then I think because they only had a week, 10 days, I think the big problem was getting all the new bikes over.
Right.
Massive cost. And I think because obviously, Yamaha's had this big push the last couple of years with all the dealers have had all the showrooms done. They've got new point of sale stuff, so they've had a massive investment of all the dealers, really. So I think the big thing is to push the customer to the dealer.
Yeah.
To come and see the new models in your showrooms and stuff, which really, I get that, and yeah, for me, I've probably the right choice.
100%. It's just you just hear lots of questions, and you know what it's like, especially these days. Everyone's conspiracy theory. Why aren't Yamaha there? And for me, it was a bit worrying. With the
NEC attendance was a lot lower than what it usually is. I think usually it's about 110,000. I think the last time it was on, it was 66,000 this year, something like that. So quite a lot, considerably. It felt quieter when we were there.
Massively. I only went for the 1 day, but it's don't get me wrong. We're not saying, why is this happening? You know what I mean? It's totally understandable that the times we're in. But for me, it was a bit like, the TT need a big push next year. And you think, why? People look at the blank space and go, why?
Yeah.
Which was a shame, really.
I know what you mean, but I don't think it'll affect anything.
Which is good to hear, yeah.
Yeah, I don't at all. I don't think it'll affect anything at all. I might have a bit more budget for racing, Lee? You never know. Yeah.
I was going to say they're spending all the money on winning like every championship going. I think this must be Yamaha's most successful year ever. I think this, isn't it?
It's got to be.
Oh, definitely, yeah. So won everything, haven't they? Pretty much. I think MX1 they didn't they? That was it, really.
Yeah,
bar everything else.
Was it Tommy? Yeah, Tommy Sills on the Honda, I believe, won that. And then the only other person was Jack Kennedy on that 636 stopped you in the British Supersport. You won stock, but then you literally won MX2 motocross and then MAA MotoGP Worlds. We were just having a bit of crap before, and I bet you were shitting yourself watching that top rack race, going, "Please win it, please win it, please win it, please win it," because it's the clean sweep.
That's it. Yeah. It makes job a bit easier getting all your parts out the Italians as well when they're happy.
I'll tell you what, I've got to ask one question before I totally forget. So I've just noticed this logo coming up more and more. It's on your arm there, GY.
GYTR.
So explain them. What's that? What's that crap?
It's basically all the kit parts and all the race parts and stuff. Genuine Yamaha technical racing. It was what they call, it was YEC. All the parts used to be called YEC, didn't they?
Right.
The race parts. Now everything's GYTR. We're a GYTR centre, so we have race bikes in stock, built and stuff. R6s, R1s, and we supply all the kit parts as well. So we'll stock everything, the crankshaft, all the pistons, everything. So that's what it is, really. It's all the race parts for Yamaha.
Oh, ideal. That can get all from raceways here.
Yeah, we have it all. Yeah, we have it all in stock. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Everything, yeah.
I tell you, what was my other thing? We were having a bit of crack, and you were saying a lot of stuff comes out of like the development side comes out of Italy, kind of thing, which is really interesting.
Yeah,
stuff.
for the World Superbike. Yeah, I mean,
That's really interesting.
All the chassis parts and all that sort of stuff they develop in house. You know, they have Ricardo over there who, he develops everything. I mean, they're lucky because they've got, where they are, they've got MotoGP next door. They're at Yamaha Italy, which is a massive, massive concern. You know, they've got everything going on there, R&D department, everything. So they're in the right place to do it. There's a few factory parts, I think, that come from the Suzuka effort, but the majority of it is done in-house at Italy.
What do you think of the proposed new Supersport rules with bringing in other manufacturers and different CCs? And because they're doing that the TT as well, aren't they?
Well, I'm pissed off about that, but I'll get to my point later on.
Don't quite work for you then.
No. I was having a conversation. When the reason I'm saying that is because I rang up 3 months ago and I had a cracking sponsor lined up and said, all right, well, if they do change the rules and stuff like that, if they do follow the World Superbike regs, we'll get you a newer bike. Because Kawasaki and the Hondas, they don't make the new bikes anymore. They're just, that's the end of that. So you have to buy an R6 to have an up-to-date bike. So when I rang up and they were saying, we're not changing the rules from last year, which means you have to stick with the 600 that you've got. I think that's more than understandable. And then I was down at the NEC on Tuesday, and Peter Hickman's sitting there with a big smile on his face. God love him. He's going, I'm running a 765 next year at the Isle of Man. Oh, well, that's opened up a can of worms. So that means we can all go buy 636s, or the regs aren't released yet for the TT. That's the thing, but they haven't released them yet.
Right.
So we don't know what can be run and nothing. But if Hickman's allowed to run a 765, that can only because that'll bring it in line with the similar rules of BSB and Worlds now, because you can run. Yeah. They've been running them with the Triumph lads, which means you can run 636s and. Ducati, you can run a Ducati next year, is that right?
Yeah, is it the 899?
Yeah, because I think Josh Day is going to run one in British Supersport.
That will be interesting. So what's your thoughts on the Supersport change then?
Something's got to happen, because you've got to remember it's a road-based championship, hasn't it? And all of a sudden we haven't got any road bikes in that class. I mean, because even the R6 is now just race only. It doesn't come homologated for road, what should I say, type approved for road use. So we've got to keep racing bikes that in a road bike championship that we sell. So it does make sense. I mean, it's easy to just go, let's keep it as it is, because we sell Yamahas, and the Yamahas, the R6 is the one to have. But if we want to keep everybody racing and keep it going, then we do need other manufacturers in it. So
it'll be a hard thing to police, mine, won't it? It will be.
Yeah,
because you think there's different revs and this and that, and like you got a 765 which is nowhere near a bloody 600, and then you got the 8 whatever the bloody hell it is, and
Smarty will have his work cut out, won't he? Plugging into everything,
It's the same as with the junior Supersport classes, sort of trying to keep all the manufacturers sort of quite level, and I think they try and do it on the ECU, don't they, and just make sure like all. Because they're all different CCs as well, aren't they, in the 300 class? Well, they're called...
Yes.
It's not the 300s, it's the junior Supersport class.
Yes.
But you've got like KTM, Yamaha, Kawasaki. Is there anything else that you can have now?
That's about it, I think, really, yeah. It's hard, because obviously with the Yamaha, even with all the kit thrown at it, it's horsepower-wise, it's the same as the Kawasaki. We're just trying to get a little bit more grunt, just so it can match the Kawasaki for grunt, really, which we're just working on at the minute. But like say, you're trying to get a level playing field, and it's very difficult, especially when one's a 400 and one's a 320.
That class has been criticised quite a lot in the World Championship, not so much the British Championship, but mainly in the World Championship, about because they're so close, big packs of riders. Do you have any? I mean. I think it was Witt was saying on the commentary that it almost sounds like a bit of a paradox, but he was saying that because the bikes are so sort of rider friendly, as in like sort of easy to ride, it actually causes the bikes to be so close together that it's actually more dangerous. So like in order to be less dangerous, you need to make the bikes harder to ride, which sort of sounds counterproductive.
Yeah, he's right though.
Yeah, do you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, it's so difficult, isn't it? Because the organisers want all the manufacturers involved. So whichever manufacturer you are, you want your motorcycle to be as competitive as the others, which then brings them all into line, which again, they're all the same. So, and the young riders, aren't they? So they're all got a very similar skill level. And the 10 or 15 can win. Mm-hmm. So it does. I get it 100%, but I don't know how else you sort of police it.
I know. And there's also the big thing about increasing the minimum age, but that's also caused the thing. So I'm not 100% up to scratch with this, but I'm pretty sure the junior class, like British Talent Cup, it was 13, it's gone up to 14, and then 15 then 15 the year after, and then I think 16 the year after. But what it means is if you're 12 now, you kind of need to get into it this year, otherwise you're not going to be able to do it next year or the year after, type of thing. So for one age group, it's like quite, do you know what I mean, it's like a year behind. But
we'll better pay the entry and not even turning up.
It's more of an age. Do you know what I mean? It's more of an age thing. But do you think lifting the minimum age is the right way to go?
It probably is. Yeah, I think it is, and which I think could keep the young ones on the mini bikes a bit longer, which is a damn sight safer, I dare say. As soon as you go into Bsb tracks and they're doing these speeds that obviously even the little 250 GP bikes are sort of capable of. Yeah, I get it. We shouldn't be losing young riders, under 16-year-old, racing. For me, we shouldn't. Mm-hmm. So I do get it. And if that's set across everything, then that's where it's at. So all your young riders are all going to be at the same level and coming through at the same time. So it just moves everything up a little bit. So I don't think it'll affect things as such. It's just going to keep them on the smaller bikes just a little bit longer, really.
Yeah, and
harness the skill set.
I don't actually know internationally what's happening there, whether because obviously if it's a case of like you have to be a certain age in this country, then it might force a lot of people to like say go to Spain racing, or that's obviously why
the country's a bit full anyway, Chrissy.
When Casey Stoner came over here, that was for age reasons. Like back then, I don't think you could race competitively in Australia at that age. So we'll have to sort of see where that goes. Sorry, just going back to your superbike career. So when was your first race win? Was it your very first season, did you say?
Yeah, we're running the first season. Yeah.
Talks to which race it was. Was that with Brooksy?
No.
Ellison, sorry.
Ellison won. I think it was Knockhill. I think it was Knockhill. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Must be.
It was because I wasn't there.
Was it?
No,
honestly.
No.
What were you doing?
I'd got something on and I couldn't make it. 17, sort of. Grant was still sort of running it, and I was sort of, well, me and Grant ran it, but Grant was sort of managing it still in 17. You see, so and I can't remember. I'd got something on. Anyway, I weren't there, and it was typical because it was the only one I'd missed, and he won. Yeah.
Nice. I was wondering because usually when you ask someone about the first race, when they know straight away about that, it must be a shame.
They just all sort of. You've been racing that long, it just gets like a mass of racing, doesn't it?
We're nearly at Christmas. Everyone's switching off now. Like I need a break. I need a break. I'm desperate right there.
Crikey, just a little bit. Yeah, crikey. Yeah.
So let's get down to the nitty gritty then. Let's talk about this season, the championship year. There we go. And I mean, you've got to start with it. Like Jason's performance at the beginning of the year, it must have cost you a fortune in prize money. Yes, it did. You can tell that was a deep breath.
It was awesome at the beginning of the season, mind.
Hey, you're better off winning, aren't you, than not? So yeah. No, he was unbelievable. To be fair, it was unreal.
First round at Alton. I mean, we've actually had Jason and Christian on, both talking about the same race and from like the different perspective. But yeah, Jason just seemed to have something in his back pocket, like an answer for everything at the beginning of the season, and just double at the first round. I think he had a little crash at Knockhill, but he was just so consistent, and he almost looked untouchable, didn't he?
Yeah, they got the bike right, but everything was working mega. He did it. It just didn't seem to be able to do anything wrong, did he? I mean, like you say, it had a little blip at Knockhill, but he got on the podium, which he's never done there before. So he was happy, really, coming away from there. Everything was working, and it was great.
I bet you're watching that last corner, those moves. Go on, I bet you're just looking at the screen, going, Oh my God! I tell you what. I've jumped a season the year before. Who was wrong, Jason or Taz? You know when they on the inside. I want your opinion. You know
what, Silverstone?
You know when they knock. Oh. Let's talk about it. Come on. In your opinion, you're sitting there. You're in the middle between both garages, and you're like that, going, "Do I go left?" Or do I go right?
It must be difficult.
I bet you just when I'm going back.
It is difficult, yeah. I mean, but it's hard, isn't it? Because you pay 2 riders to win, so which is a difficult situation to be in. But and that it just is what it is, isn't it? I mean,
look, you're not a politician. Start answering the questions. It is what it is.
We've signed them both for next year, so I've got to be very careful. Yeah.
So on one side, you've just got your first race win with Taz, and then on the other side, you feel like horrendously sore and bitter about what happened to Jason. So it must just be unbelievably difficult to manage that situation.
It is, because very much so. I mean, Taz didn't mean any malice by it. He just, he thought there was a gap, and
on the rumble strip.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you know in terms of so some team owners get very much involved with what's going on in the actual running in the garage. Some take a step back and just kind of observe. Do you, like, for example, like before the racing and stuff, are you the type of person that go in and say, right lads, get stuck in, try and win, or do you just kind of keep reserved and just let them get on with the jobs? Or?
I don't need to tell either of them that. Trust me.
Mm-hmm.
They don't need anybody telling them they need to win.
And what about the opposite? Is there ever, like, for example, at a time like that, is there ever a time where you have to get them together and just say, try not like try and win fairly, but like try not to sort of take each other out type of thing?
Yeah, we've had that a little bit. Yeah, but you just I mean, after that incident, we sort of we had to have a bit of a chat. I mean, it was.
Do you
race motorbike racing, isn't it?
Do you take them conversations type of thing? As like,
yeah, you have to. Yeah, they both know they don't. I mean, they're both clever lads. They're not stupid. They both want to win, and they're getting paid to win. So you can't take away that desire, can you? Because that's what you're paying them for.
Yeah.
I tell you what, one of the best things about motorcycle racing, and I hope they never ever bring it in, but like, we'll refer back to F1 again, but the intercom where they can talk to each other. I bet, like, has there ever been a time when you think, I'd love that technology? Just sitting there going like that, beep, wind your neck in, off.
Yeah. What are you doing?
Screaming, wind your neck.
Yeah. Yeah, it'd be handy, wouldn't it?
I bet you're like, give me that pit board.
Yeah.
How on earth do you sort of conduct? No, like say on a last lap, for example, when they're both battling with each other, because obviously whoever overtakes who, it's your rider doing the overtaking, but also your rider getting overtaken. So like, do you just have to like try and just stay quite calm and just be happy be happy for both of them?
Well, you are, aren't you? Because at the end of the day, I mean, as long as we win, I mean, the main job was the team needed to win the championship. That was it, that was priority. So, and whichever one won it would over the moon, so that's the main job. And obviously, you're going to not hinder the team winning the championship.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
It'd be like a discussion. It's like parents, isn't it? You know what I mean? Totally like parents. I don't have favourites. Every parent has a favourite. I don't care who you are, what parent. Every parent, listen to this right now, God. He's right, but I'm not admitting it. Like every weekend, it'll be. Look at him. I can see it in his eye. Like,
it's hard, isn't it?
I tell you,
it's like behind the wagon. You're my favourite this weekend. Next weekend, you are my favourite this weekend. You did a great job.
Right, see, it depends who's winning at the time.
I tell you,
you're my favourite. You won. You're my favourite because you cost me less this weekend.
Both lads do a great job in terms of. I mean, they're obviously both extremely professional, but one thing Jason made a big sort of effort with this year is his social media interactions. I don't know if you check his Facebook, but he's almost like committed himself to replying to every single comment that anybody. So if you go on Jason's Facebook, he must spend hours and hours a day, but it's really good in terms of looking after the fans, and I think it's good for a minute.
Yeah, it's a massive part of it nowadays, isn't it? The social media stuff is It's huge. So yeah, it makes a big difference.
There's people employed full time. Have you got someone working at the shop here doing that? Well, there we are.
Oh, we have Ollie Rushby, don't we? Ollie does all our stuff. He does Yamaha's, he does McCann's, he does ours.
That's what I mean.
It's
a full-time job now, and it just shows how hard you've got to work doing it. It's phenomenal.
In terms of the hospitality side as well, you've made a huge expansion this year just gone with a massive hospitality. I mean, how many guests can you get in at one time?
Oh, just over 200.
Jesus,
it's huge. And
you don't leave much on the table. I keep going through the bins after trying to get a free meal, and the food must be good. I'm like, it's all gone.
You had at Donington, there was some sort of massive, was it a Yamaha party or something? Was that the 25-year celebration or something?
McCann's.
Oh, was that a McCann's?
Yeah, it was McCann's. It was their 25th anniversary, so we ran the bikes in the silver with the 25th anniversary on.
Very nice.
Yeah, it looked really good. And yeah, they had 200 plus of their staff, so we held a big party.
Seen the big bar and a DJ. It was class.
I tell you what, right? This is an opportunity that I keep forgetting to ask people, but it's like let's talk about BMW. Like Tyco, it was only like a couple of years ago I found out what Tyco were. They're a security product. Like now, people read McCams. What? Oh, this is putting you on the spot. What are McCams? Who is McCams?
Well, it's McCann's. It's part of direct accident management. So what they do is basically you get knocked off your bike. You know, it's somebody else's fault. They'll hire you a bike. They'll do all the solicitor stuff. You know, the claim and everything, and they do all that. So I mean, the biggest in the UK now. So the cars, which is the Dams. They do bikes, which is McCann's. And then they do cycles as well now, which is CAMS. So,
Jesus.
Yeah, and it's all part of the Anexo Group, which is a PLC. So they have the solicitors, so it's all in house, everything.
Right.
You know, the hires, the whole lot. So yeah, it's
for them to be at the top of the motorcycle game. It's important for their business. So no, it's interesting because you always. The dedication and the loyalty that sponsor has with you, it becomes part of one package, doesn't it? The McCams, Yamaha, and it's a bit like, heaven forbid you get a different sponsor next year. Everyone's going to be tripping over their feet going, it's McCams. It's not McCams, Yamaha.
They're going into the 6th year with us. So yeah,
really?
Which is fantastic. Yeah, absolutely fantastic. Yeah.
There we go.
And it's cool to sort of see that sort of the sponsorship work, and then your hospitality's packed on a weekend, and like lots of sort of happy. You sort of. I mean, how the whole racing thing works, you can sort of see it all, you know, like in terms of the sponsorship, and then like the sponsors using the hospitality to like sort of look. Yeah,
it's a massive part of it, isn't it? Because I mean, you've a lot of your sponsors. It's not the name on the motorbike that is the big thing. It's the bringing the guests and the customers and stuff to the race meeting. So the hospitality is biggest part of getting the budget in to run it. You know.
And in terms of, do you know, the other team owners, and kind of, do you kind of socialise with the other team owners a lot, and like sort of, or do you just kind of keep yourself to yourself?
Or is it like the Illuminati, you meet?
Yes. Is it like an exclusive club?
Stuart Higgs is at the front.
No, I mean, there's some that I talk to quite a lot, some that I don't really talk to much. It just depends. I mean, you know, there's a lot of really, really nice people in the paddock.
Yeah,
there is.
You've got a future in politics, you. It's just such a nice round off answer. Hey, that's great. Next question. Face space party at my place. Oh, I love it. Absolutely.
So in terms of the rules for over the last few years in terms of the testing, since the whole COVID thing, we haven't had Spanish testing built into the like official BSB stuff. So now we have like 4 official BSB tests or whatever it is, and then there's a limit on the other testing that you're allowed to do. What exactly is it? Is it so many days, like track days or whatever? Yeah,
you're limited to how many days you can do, which includes obviously the official tests as well. The problem at the moment is the official tests are great, which are fantastic. I was never a massive fan of going to Spain anyway. Cost a load of money for starters, and you know, you're in really warm conditions compared to what you're going to race in, especially at the beginning of the season. Tracks you're not racing on, so it was great to get the lads a run out, but I didn't really see the relevance.
Expensive. Yeah.
It is really, to be honest. But again, you're probably far better sending them out on a super stock bike just to go and do some laps than tipping up with full superbikes, your full team, and all the rest. For me, and then doing the serious testing at the Bsb tests. But because of COVID, and nobody's been able to get to a lot of track days abroad and stuff, you're struggling to get tracks in the UK outside of the Bsb tests anyway to test, because track days are full and all the rest.
Difficult thing, because we've just seen there's OMG who have recently purchased a Yamaha from you, and there's Bradley Ray. He's gone out and smashed the lap record at Cartagena. Have you seen that?
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah, I was
God.
about to say,
Yeah.
Is that on Jason's bike?
Yes. Well, they bought Jason's, so they took that one, and then we built another brand new one, because obviously we kept Taz's. So we built another brand new one and sent that out as well, so they had a bike each. And then obviously Chris went, Anthony went, and Tim Seed went. So sent 3 of the staff out. So just to get them up to speed and just to save them a little bit of time on direction and stuff. And he went. Yeah, Brad went really, really well.
In terms, obviously you've put a hell of a lot of time, effort, and it's like a massive commitment to sort of get to where you are. And in terms of teams, you've absolutely dominated the championship this year. So you've kind of got the special ingredients to win the British Championship. Most people would be very precious over that information.
I'll sell you that bike without the faults, the shock.
Is it not?
That chassis, we're going to have to change the chassis. We're going to put a Kawasaki one in there.
Just from what you've just said, you seem to be very sort of forthcoming in terms of helping, say, OMG. Do you have the attitude of you can have the information, but you've still got to go out and beat my lads, or are you? Yeah, you just seem to be very sort of open in terms of helping them out, sending over your best men.
The thing is, it's like if you look at the World Superbikes, there's obviously Pata team and obviously there's GRT. Well, GRT can get the same as Pata, and Yamaha in the UK, Italy and the UK, they want 4 Yamahas at the front. So it's they get what they get, and we will set the job up and we'll give them, and they'll have to run it themselves, and then we have to rely on our riders doing their job. That's the whole point of it is with the official team, and Yamaha want 4 Yamahas at the front.
Yeah, so you think of the bigger picture rather than your own. Directly your own team, isn't it? You're thinking if you can get Yamaha. We've got all the staff and we've got everything in place to do our job at the weekends, haven't we? And we've got, I think, the 2 best riders in the championship. So, we've no worries on that side. And we just have to go and do our job week in, week out, don't we?
Speaking of next year, obviously there's rumours, I don't know if it's confirmed yet, but there's rumours to be Haslam and Sykesy coming back both from World Superbikes.
You've signed Sykes, haven't you?
We're only 3, aren't we?
Yeah. Both massive, massive names for the championship. And in terms of the fans, it's going to be brilliant, because you've got the likes, obviously you've got the top lads from this year staying in it, and you've got the sort of the veterans coming back from World Superbikes. Who do you, going into next year, who do you see as the biggest championship threat to your 2 lads?
Nice.
Yeah, well, I mean, if Tom does come back and Leon, yeah, of course they'll be up there. They will be ones to beat, 100%. Yeah, and again, Brad Ray, Kyle Ryde will be on Yamaha, so again they will be really strong. But again, you've got to not get too sort of dragged into who's going to beat you, who's this. You've just got to just keep doing your job. I mean, we're on with engine improvements now to try and move the job on again, and some of the chassis stuff. So you can't stand still. So you've just got to keep trying to evolve and just keep your head down and do your bit and improve your package. And then it's down to the lads to do their bit, isn't it? Which they're more than capable of.
Who would your dream? Now, don't give me a political answer here by saying I've got my dream riders. You know what I mean?
You could say if Taz and Jason weren't available.
No, I mean anyone who would be sitting on your bikes. Anyone, past, present, or whatever.
Well, you'd have to have Toprak, wouldn't you? Toprak and Rossi. It'd have to be, wouldn't it?
Have you met Rossi?
Yes, once. Yeah, out in Italy. Yeah, when I went Johnny Towers to an AGV do. Yeah.
Oh, brilliant.
Set the world of rights. You know what? This is the crack. This is the crack.
No, then, mate, sit down.
Driver. Top Rack's a bit special, mind, isn't he? I hope he gets a chance in MotoGP at some point.
Yeah, I think 2023 will be MotoGP.
And in terms of Yamaha and MotoGP, aside from Quattraro this year, if you look at the sort of second Yamaha was miles off. Do you think that the bike's sort of competitive, but the other riders just didn't do their jobs, or do you think the bike wasn't quite as competitive as the other manufacturers, but Quattraro made it work?
Yeah, I mean, the Yamahas have all got the same sort of trait, haven't they? You know, the handle, fantastic, the chassis is great. Possibly the MotoGP bike doesn't quite have the outright performance of some of the others, maybe. But at tracks where it does excel, they make the most of it. It's difficult, obviously, we was in Italy a few weeks back and went around the MotoGP workshops and stuff, and it's unbelievable.
Do you see some of
did they pat you down after? I bet you were pocketing a few things like, Jason, distract him, I'll grab that swinging arm.
Do you see some of the technology coming down from MotoGP, like directly to the superbikes? Is that?
I think so. I mean, because obviously they design all the swing arms and everything in Italy, so it's coming from somewhere into it, and they're literally next door, so it's got to be anti, But I mean, there's the MotoGP effort is all the bits come from the factory, I mean, they were in there building engines in this great big room that's 21 degrees, and it was cool. it was mega.
A lab.
It was ace.
Like
it was good.
And in terms of next year, obviously you've announced that you're keeping both riders in superbikes. Are you involved with? Are you involved with anything else in terms of like the roads or in the junior? Are you still involved at all with the blue, like is it blue crew thing?
Yeah, we're going to run the blue crew job again with Yamaha, which is there'll be R3s. Also going to include, I think we've got a couple on stock 600, and then Ash Barnes is going to run a Super Sport 600 as well.
Right.
He's sort of missing the Super Stock 600 bit out and just going straight to Super Sport. We're just building my bike at the moment, just for the track time and stuff, really, just because you get a lot more of it. So we'll be on that. And then with the Edwards, Edwards vodka.
Yes.
With Richard Rundle there, we're going to run.
Have you tried the vodka?
One of those.
Any good?
It's fantastic.
Oh, good, smooth.
I have to say.
Look at that. Was that a genuine
not
answer?
political, that. Trust, honestly.
Wait, Christmas is coming. I need to get me folk something. So if you've got a cash deal at the back there, I'll buy a bottle off you. Don't you worry, young'un.
Yeah, it's good. Well, we have a bar, don't we, in hospitality all the time. Edwards bar.
Yeah, I can't get through the door, mate. You guys
you've not got the right pass.
No, they know who I am. They're like, right. Piss off. You scrounging twat. Get away from me. So roads-wise, just...
No, we're not going to be doing anything with the roads, because we've got, part of Taz's deal is that we're going to do 3 World Superbike rounds.
Wow.
So
fantastic.
Is that an exclusive here on Chasing the Race? I've not seen that anywhere.
Don't ruin it. Don't let me go.
So we'll probably do, we'll do Donington.
Mid.
Possibly Assen, possibly either Misano or Most.
Wow.
So, and when we was in Italy, we got it all sorted, and instead of us sort of running their engine and electronics, as a package, they're just going to bring their test bike, so he'll run a full factory 2022 Superbike. So.
Oh my God! I tell you what, I hope he wins all 3 of them races, because he'd be just going over the line like that, going.
Yeah.
How awesome will that? That'll be a hell of a thing for yourself as well, won't it?
Oh my God!
Yeah, it'd be good. Yeah, it'd be fantastic, really. Yeah. So, and again, you've got to try not to take too much on, because obviously you don't want to water down the Bsb job. So. Yeah. To go and do the roads as well, there just wouldn't be enough.
Too much on.
Yeah, you just take too much on, and it's.
Have you dipped your toe in World Superbikes before? Is this your first?
No, I did a wild card with Hudson on the 600s at World Supersport. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And do you have visions of going there full time in the future?
No, not really. No, to be honest with you, no. No.
Fair.
No, it's not. Yeah, I've never really bothered. UK's fine, and I think the travelling would do me in, and yeah.
No, there you are. No. So you ever had pressure from any other lads just saying, "Can we go to Worlds? Can we go to Worlds?" No. It's that natural progression as a rider kind of thing, isn't it?
Yeah, I think with I mean, Jason's at a point in his career where he wants to win the British Championship.
Yes. Yeah.
Taz is at a point where he wants to go Worlds, but obviously there wasn't a good enough ride available, for this year. So it made sense to stay.
That's what I mean. I can't get there with your team on them bikes. I hope he wins every single one of them, because everyone will be just like, oh damn, we've missed a trick here.
Yeah,
that'll be amazing.
I think for me, if the olds aren't, there's possibly a couple of opportunities at the end of 2022 at Yamaha. So
right.
So to do a good job in Britain again, and
yes.
then reasonably good job at the World Rounds, and obviously Yamaha are serious because obviously they're providing a full 2022 bike. So I think it's the way to go.
Yeah,
I think the opportunities at the end of next year are far better than what they were this year.
Yes.
Fantastic.
It sounds brilliant. Aside from Haslam and Sykesy, is there anybody else coming into the championship that you're aware of from like Europe, or? I think they're the only two coming from World Superbikes.
Yeah, I think that's it. I don't think there's anybody else coming back, is there, at the minute?
No.
I think that's it. No.
What about how do you think Vickers will go on the FHO bike? That's been announced now.
Kawasaki on the BM, hasn't he? So
yeah,
showed flashes of brilliance.
It does. Massively, and I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of crashing and stuff at the end, which I don't know whether he was putting pressure on himself, because obviously at the time there was talk of him going to Paul Bird, so at PBM. So I don't know if he was just trying a little bit too hard. I'm not sure, but it just all unfolded a little bit for him, didn't it, towards the end of the year? But I'm glad he's got an opportunity.
Be interesting to see how it gets on. In terms of, I've got some Patreon questions which we'll get on to, but I've just got a few of my questions first. In terms of running a team, a lot of people will be listening who are like massively into bike racing and whatever. If you had to sort of compress into like quite a short answer, why do you do what you do? Why do you put so much time, money and effort and stress into running a superbike team? How would you answer it?
I want to win.
Is that it?
We want to win.
Do you just get do you get an emotional kick out of winning the race, and which is just like you don't find elsewhere in life?
Yeah, you do. Yeah, it is very much so. You've just got this sort of we want to try and be the best we can, and win. Mm-hmm. That's you look at it, and over all the years we've been involved in motorcycling since I was 16, and the pinnacle is to try and win the British Championship. I mean, business is great and all the rest. It's what to win Bsb, and we have done that.
I don't know if you listened to when we had Jason on the podcast.
Yes, I did. Yeah,
he actually
he would have been there with the popcorn. Let's see what he's going to say.
He actually said that it was something to do with I think I asked him the difference between when he was riding at Honda and when he was riding at your place, and that was more or less his answer, which was, in a very sort of political way, that's kind of how he answered it. He said, like, with you, it's all about winning. And I think he said something like, if we needed something that was like 10 grand, I would. If you thought it was going to help win, it wouldn't be a problem, because it's it's not, you're not doing it for like a job or for this or for that. It's 100% you're there to win.
There's a massive difference between a problem and a hassle. You'd get the job done, but they'll be like, oh, for God's sake.
Well, I mean, you can probably go into this championship and spend X amount, but you spend that little bit more, and that little bit more is the difference to win. So if you're in for a penny, you're in for a pound, aren't you?
There we are.
What's been your greatest single moment from being a team manager?
Winning it this year.
So the moment that you went over the line.
Oh yeah, because all those years of work and pulling everything together and putting the right people together, and it was just
Any part of you thinking about, I'm going to call this a day after you won it? Was there a moment you sat down with the wife and just went,
Wendy. Well, you met Wendy before. I think the last probably 6 weeks before the champion, well, definitely 4 weeks, I think she'd have probably left at any moment. She said I was an absolute nightmare to live with.
Really?
Yeah.
What, just the stress?
I think, because the pressure's on, obviously, you want to win, you obviously got the manufacturer, you've got the sponsors, you put pressure on yourself because you want to win. And obviously we were 1-2 in the championship, so expectations there as well. And it was. I think she said it was hard work.
Oh, God love her. At least she knows what she's going to deal with next year. It's not going to be a
Correct.
shock for a God lover.
No, that's it. I think it
Here
didn't.
comes the last 3 months.
No,
Jesus,
yeah. I'm
Christ.
off to my mum's.
Got the hotel booked. Have a good time.
Do you ever find, do you know, like, for example, when Rossi was at his peak in MotoGP, and so, for example, when he was teammates with Colin Edwards, and Colin kind of knew his place in the team, like the whole team was structured around Rossi trying to win, and Colin was there to help Rossi win. Basically, there was never a question of Colin winning, and they remained really good friends and worked together closely. And then there's other teams, a little bit like when Lorenzo joined the team, and instantly, because they were both fighting to be alpha male in the team, and they both were trying to get that number one, it was a very successful team, but it was a lot more difficult in terms of like managing the whole situation. Obviously, this the way you've got your team set up, you've got 2 lads that are both capable of winning the championship, both things. Is it would you say you prefer to have them having 2 riders that are both capable of winning, or is it, in an ideal situation, would you sometimes prefer to have like, do you know what I mean? Do you know what I'm saying?
A good one, not too good.
It's a difficult question, but you kind of get what I'm asking.
Yeah, I prefer it as it is. We have 2 riders that can win.
Do you keep spare plyboard? Just in case you need it, like, you know what I mean, like that. You just nudge it, like Grant there, going like that.
Silverstone this year.
Wall in, yeah, that's it. Put the wall in.
That was a difficult one as well, because it's one of them things. It's
you just lost. Oh God, that was.
It was a difficult one. And I mean, everybody was we're all a bit vocal and stuff, but it wasn't again, the main job has been this year is to win the championship. The team win the championship. One of the riders, obviously, but we had to win the championship. And the thing there was, obviously, straight after, I wander in and they both led it medical centre, both not looking right good, and you're thinking, And it was a racing incident, it was just one of those things. He went under, got on the gas, and just unfortunately outside and collected Jason. It was just one of those things. But at that moment, the pressure, and you're thinking, it's all over. Don't believe this, But anyway, and then they went and won both races day after.
Mm-hmm.
I bet your drive home's a.
Yeah,
can you pull in at Morrison's? I need a bottle of wine here.
En route.
Yeah, but we can only get the little love. I don't care. I need a bottle of wine.
But and that's. But again, it's like I keep saying it. But that's what you're paying for, and they both admit it. And if you speak to them, they push each other on.
Oh God, you need that.
They massively push each other on. I mean, we took them both to Italy with us. Me, Chris, Jason, and Taz, and we did have a good crack. To be fair.
Oh, good.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah. A few beers and
managed to let your hair down.
Yeah, it was a real good crack. Yeah, it was. Yeah. They got on really well. It was good.
And obviously, this last year's kind of set the bar now. Going into 2022. Do you feel like exactly the same, like just completely reset and as hungry, if not hungrier, to win, or like?
Yeah, I mean, we've got a lot of stuff coming, and we're working on quite a bit of stuff. But I've sort of given myself. I thought I'll get to Christmas, get through Christmas, and then boom, we're back on it 100%. Because there's been a lot going on, and there's been a lot of parties and all sorts of stuff. So we haven't stopped. Like I say, we're on with stuff already. We're getting this made, that made, other different things, different engine components, and but come sort of beginning of Jan, that's it. We're need to win the championship again.
Mm-hmm. And do you have? Is there a goal eventually that you feel like I'll take that and then I'll retire?
What's next on the bucket list?
Are you just going to go until you
Well, we get chased out of BSB.
Yeah, Iggsy with a shotgun. Yeah,
do one.
Do you have anything that you want to tick off?
No, I think we're we've won BSB now, so we want to defend it, try and win it.
Is he going to run number 1 plate? Do you know?
Yeah.
Mid.
Yeah.
Mid.
Is that definitely?
Yeah, we'll be. Yeah, we won. Yeah.
Good.
Definitely. Yeah.
Because that has been a controversial thing over, like, say, MotoGP. The last few MotoGP champions having Quattararo's not running it next year.
No.
Shite bag.
I think Top Right's going to run it, isn't he?
Is he?
He said he's going to run it. Yeah,
Good.
yeah. Taz will be running it. Yeah, I think you should. You know, you've won the championship. You know, the championship wants the number one plate out there. The manufacturer does. The sponsors do. The team does. Yeah, of course you do.
You want to say the Yamaha? That's
course,
a lot of number ones out there. Just going right. You Quattro, tough shite, son. If you want the money, run the number one.
Yeah.
Right though, you know what I mean?
It is really. To be fair, yeah, 100%.
He's a professional athlete. You're not looking at the number board, son. You're looking at the
Yeah. What difference does that make? What numbers on front? It's, you know, it needs the number one. That's the champion. You know, just running your numbers. Just for me, it is anyway.
Yeah.
But, you know.
Got a few Patreon questions. We've got
who's your favourite rider?
I'm
gonna get this out.
First of all, massive congratulations. This is from Adam Renmont. First of all, massive congratulations on the championship with Taz. What are the plans for the team with 2020 with other championships, etc.? I think that we've kind of covered that with the
Stock 1000, which will be announced shortly.
All right, back in stock. Good.
With the Edwards vodka, the R1. So good. We'll do that, and then just support Super Sport, Super Stock, and the Junior Super Sport. Yeah.
Cool. And that's yes. Luke's asked how will Touchy be doing the TT in Northwest with Raceways next year. They've already answered that. Ryan Garside, out of all the riders who have ridden for you, is there anyone who stood out as being that little bit special, or is there perhaps one who didn't achieve as much as you think they should have? Good question.
Well, I mean, Taz obviously has won the championship. You know, you can't not mention Taz because I mean, obviously we put him on a superbike. 4 years ago. I still remember him saying when he went to Moto 2, I just can't see myself on a superbike round Alton Park. I think that was part of his excuse to go. You know what I mean? And then obviously he won a race now, hasn't he, at Alton Park on a superbike.
How often do you rub that in his face now, Gan? I remember you
try not to. I have mentioned it, yes.
Good lad.
But
like you said earlier, though, like that experience that he gained might have been invaluable in terms of what he's brought 100%.
Back. Yeah, he came back a different rider. I mean, I know he had a tough time there, but he did come back a different rider. So yeah, Taz. I mean, Jason's done a mega job. You got to think, he'd had quite a few years in BSB, and then in superbikes and stock. I think he'd won one race, and then now, Craic, he dominated most of the year. Yeah, 11 this year.
And did Taz do 10? So he had
10,
21 race wins out of
33.
Was the 33 races? It's a big chunk, isn't it, for one team?
Yeah, it was good. Yeah.
Huge. We've got all the trophies in there.
I know, that's a lot of trophies.
Get in there.
That's just this year's.
I was about to say, do you have to move them every night? I feel sorry for one of your staff that put that back down, move that, move this.
Well, everyone keeps borrowing bikes, so they have to take everything. Bike goes off. So went NEC last week, and so.
It's cool having Taz's bike there next to. Is that Neil's actual bike?
Yeah, that's the actual bike. Yeah, the boost bike. Yeah, it's Neil's that one.
Mint.
Yeah,
cool. Is it, it's 25-year difference or something?
It is. It's because it was Neil won the first one, Taz won the 25th.
Crazy, isn't it?
Well, when we picked ours up from NEC, it was there, so Tony put it in the van. Bring it back, lad.
I was about to say, the NEC fully aware of the spikers. There'll be some bloke like,
where's
I'm
this
getting
purple
sacked.
one?
I'm getting sacked. Cheers, Steve.
Good question. So we've got Michael Russell there. How difficult is it to work with Race and Dad in the workshop during BSB Race Weekends? I guess that's more towards the younger lads. Are you involved with the or do you kind of push it over to Roger? To Roger's department?
Roger deals with most of it. I mean, to be honest, they're all enthusiastic. They all want the lads to do really well, and they're fine. Yeah.
Very political answer.
Well, it is. It is. Yeah.
They're all customers, aren't they?
Correct.
The
amount of people be following you around going, let's see what the real Steve's like. They're like, get on my own and thing.
I mean, it's one of them things. Dads always want the best for the and mums want the best for the kids in it. But it's
an intense environment. Is motorcycle racing?
It's even more so motocross. Motocross is better. I don't know if you've ever been to a
I can imagine that being horrific.
It's brilliant.
It's
brilliant
class.
to watch.
It is absolutely class, man. You pull in off your race and you just watch the carnage in the paddocks. It's mint.
Dad's just ranting.
If you go to a local...
You sit down one more time. I'm taking the seat off. I
went to see Dom race in it wasn't that far from me. It was up the coast, and went out to watch the auto race. And so you've got maybe 30 little kids racing these little 50s in the it's that deep. They just look so small on these bikes, and the dads literally run round the track next to them, just shouting at them. Honestly, it's absolutely brilliant to watch. It's it's a good.
It is.
Well, obviously the whole Mad Mark thing's kind of like sort of playing off.
That's some crack, that.
Taking little bits from that, and
funny.
that's been
Funny.
brilliant. It's through lockdown and stuff, and obviously we haven't mentioned about Taylor retiring and taking on the job as team manager over for Michael Laverty for the Vision Track Moto3 team, British team, with two young lads, Scott Ogden and Josh Watley, both very promising talents, and hopefully it's really nice to have that sort of. And fair play to the Vision Track lads for doing it, but to have that thing all the way into the World Championship, because we haven't actually had a British team there, so to sort of have the opportunity that if there's young lads that are doing the business here, and sorry, I keep saying young lads, but young people, to get into the, do you know what I mean? Get the World Championships.
I think Simon at Vision Track, I mean, he's doing a fantastic thing, really, because I think, there isn't really, like you say, a team to bring them through. So, I mean, and obviously they've got a presence in BSB, haven't they? So, which will then bring them through. And obviously, I think they've done something in Europe as well as Moto3. So, yeah, it is. It's fantastic. Somebody putting the money where the mouth is and doing the job, which is great.
And a fantastic opportunity for Taylor as well to sort of take all of his experience from starting from his following his dad, but then from racing in GPs himself, racing in the British Championship, and to kind of to be involved. It's sort of, in one sense, it's disappointing that he's not going to be racing, because obviously he's a very good rider and a good competitor. But it's really nice to see him sort of putting all those skills to good use and to help the sort of next generation come through.
Yeah, I spoke to him on the week and he says, I watched you them last few rounds, he says, and I could see the stress, the aggro and all the R-take. He said, I thought that's a bit of me, I'll have a go at that. But, no, to be fair, he'll do a mega job. He will do a good job. And Michael's putting everything together. He's a bit stressed at me. I was talking to him yesterday. I said, took a bit much on there, mate. Oh, gosh. So, yeah. But I'm sure it'll all come together and they'll do a great job. It'll be good. Yeah.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
Because Michael rode for you that year in Superbikes.
Yes.
I've heard he's very good at development, like in terms of like his feedback's like unbelievably good. So it's good. I mean, it's exciting times ahead, isn't it?
It is.
I'll have a quick look for any more Patreon questions. I think that's pretty much everything.
No, I think we've just raked through that list very nicely there. So it's like, I was about to say, would you like to, obviously you run a shop, would you like to give any shout outs, social media links, anything like that? You're a bit...
Well, yeah, just go on to our website, Raceways Motorcycles, and
come buy a bike.
Come and buy a motorbike, yeah.
Simple as that.
Have you got plans for over the Christmas?
Nothing. He's going to do nothing.
I think we're out tonight, bit of a night out with lads tonight, and then week off, and we're up the lakes this Christmas, so up Lake District, so yeah.
I'm out there on the trials, but I think you spoke to Kev, who's my spotter, up in Windermere, and we get up there quite a bit. So I think we've got a nice pub booked out for a nice meal tomorrow night as well. So look forward to that.
Be good.
I tell you what, if you bumping him, he's going to be kicking off like I want a weekend away from motorcycles, Chrissy. Get out of this pub. You lot do one.
I don't trust me. That's all. It's just all it is. Motorbikes. That's it. That's it. Yeah. That's all it is.
Brilliant.
I've got one quick thing to. Someone emailed us the other day about, and I've been saying the last few podcast that I'll read it out, but a guy
the job opportunity.
Yes. So someone got in touch with us from is it Wasner Pistons, and we are looking for a young energetic motorbike enthusiast to join our sales team. Roles will include handling customer orders, researching new models, and attending shows and exhibitions. We're offering a competitive salary and a bonus scheme. Applicants should apply their CVs to inquiries at wasnerpistons.co.uk. So
can you spell that, please? Because I would not even... If I listen to this now, I'm like, what the is he saying?
It's WOSSNER pistons.co.uk.
There we are.
And based down in Essex. So if anyone is looking for a job in these current times with COVID and stuff, then drop them a message.
And if them engine mods don't work, you can get some oversizers.
We could just go like a 1100 cc maybe, something like that.
I just heard your ad on Chase the Race and any chance of these pistons.
Fantastic.
Absolutely brilliant. But honestly, thank you so much for your time and coming on the show. It's been absolutely great crack.
Huge,
honestly, thank you so much.
Huge thanks to our sponsors, Colchester Kawasaki. Massive thank you to all of our patrons, and we'll look forward to catch up soon. Thanks very much.
Enjoy your
boys.
holiday.
Thank you. Yes, same to you, boys. Thank you.
Cheers.
Merry Christmas.
Click, buy, deliver. With remote purchasing from the 2-time Motorcycle News Dealer of the Year, Colchester Kawasaki. Proud sponsors of Chasing the Racing.